What's a say you'll act that looks fun, but is actually disappointing? I thought I had a scat fetish, but I was wrong. I ducked up really bad and might never mentally recover. So, like many young modern men, I enjoy PN and partake semi-regularly. There's, of course, a lot of it out there, and I'll confess, the normal shti pun intended started to get kind of boring to me. So I started branching out into some more extreme but legal genres. Eventually, I stumbled on SET, and to be very honest, it was super hot, and I ended up enjoying it a lot. Something about watching a beautiful woman with a fat pinch off a large FK loaf really turned me on. I'm not exaggerating when I say I spent almost 2 years of my life watching primarily SET-focused PR. Well, as I got more and more into it, the more I wanted to experience it myself. I tried finding women who were into it, but they seemed few and far between. Eventually, I found an escort who specialized in extreme fetishes. And she was super hot too, but very expensive. I knew I wanted this though, but I'm not super rich, so I took out a cash advance on my credit card and put it with my savings. I contacted her, scheduled an appointment last month on the 15th, and paid for a hotel room and her flight to my city. I even took time off of work on the Friday beforehand to prepare. I was so excited. My heart was racing, waiting for her to show up at 6 at my room. She came. We made conversation all while I grew more excited. Finally, the time came. She grabbed her suitcase and opened it and pulled out a large plastic sheet and laid it over the bed. She told me to lay down, undress, and get comfortable, and she'd change and return. I did so and was so excited. After what felt like forever, she came back wearing a leather corset, thigh-high boots, and no bottoms. She asked if I was ready. I was so excited I couldn't speak. I just nodded. She got on top of me and told me to eat her. I did it like my life depended on it, while she starcade and bell W me. It was amazing. Then she asked if I was ready for the main course. I said, yes. She put her entire A over my face and carefully lined up her with my mouth. I started to see it open up. Then I saw it open up and slowly a log started to make its way out. I opened my mouth, and as soon as it entered my mouth, I knew I made a terrible mistake. It tasted so bad. The smell was terrible too. It made me gag. I was fighting the urge not to puke. Tears of shame, sadness, and disgust filled my eyes as I fought the urge not to cry like a baby. Eventually, I see me all over her hands, and she smeared it with tea and made me lick it off of her fingers. I felt like I needed to impress her, and that I'd spent too much money on this to back out. Then we went and showered, and she threw the plastic sheet in a garbage bag, took the envelope of money. We made some brief conversation, and she left. Immediately, I broke down crying, brushed my teeth for what felt like forever, and got drunk trying to forget. I found out the hard way last month that I don't have a SET fetish. And honestly, I feel mentally broken over that night. And I don't know if mentally I can overcome this. I've been really struggling with S-Dal thoughts since that night. I made an appointment to see a local therapist, but I hope it'll help. In a hammock. We thought it would be sensual, rhythmic, and tropical. It's really just like being two dolphins awkwardly trapped in tuna net. My wife sitting on my face. It's fun, and I love it, but it's disappointing because she was given specific instructions to let me DE under there, and I'm still very much alive. On a beach in Mexico, when a security guard points a flashlight, advises you the tide could kill you, and the light also reveals you weren't as secluded as you thought. Anything involving food. In a wet environment. In a car. Can attest to the disappointment, especially when you're both pretty tall. Even in a full-size sedan, it's pretty cramped, and both of us hit our heads on the door and ceiling. Plus, one time, we didn't clean up as well as we'd thought. We're driving with one of our friends in the back, and he casually observes that it's just me and the used C-Endom back here. Once upon a time, I went to the zoo with my girlfriend at the time. We had a whole plan for the day, since my parents were out, and we had relations before we left. Well, upon arriving at the zoo, my brain turned back on, and I realized that I had left the used C-Endom and package on the counter because the trash was full, and I didn't want to just plop it on top. So I took out the trash, without throwing away the CN-dong. The very first thing I did when I put my car into park was check my phone. And I saw that mother had just texted me that they were coming back sooner than anticipated and asked me if we needed anything. I panicked and gave her a laundry list of things I didn't actually need, but were located on opposite ends of the store, just to buy myself some time. There was no way I could make it back in time, even if I floored it and didn't stop for red lights. I was 45 minutes straight out, and my parents were 5 minutes from home picking up groceries. I had to act quickly. I sat there for a moment in abject horror, absolutely positive my life was about to end, and I should just pretend to be a zookeeper and just never go home again. When it hit me, I have my friends, but I couldn't spring this on just anyone. No, it had to be a ride or die homie. 'Cause otherwise even just asking would be social suicide. I called up my best friend and said, "Dude, I need you to be king, bro, right now. You know I do just about anything for you, right?" He said, "Yeah, I don't like where this is going, but I got you, man. I need you to break into my house and toss out my rubber for me." Dude, I know. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't imperative. My parents were very against me dating, and them finding out I was actively having sex would have been the end of me. Dude, okay, but I hope you know you owe me, and you'd better not ever ask anything like this of me again. Yes, dude, you are truly king, bro. He did it, and he held it over my head till we went different ways after high school lol. But he truly is king, bro. On the beach. Seems romantic. Sand gets everywhere. Man, I thought a threesome would spice things up, but instead of a wild night to remember, it turned into a plot twist I didn't see coming. My wife ended up leaving me for the other woman. Coworker SX. The SUL tension is high. Oh yeah, boy, better believe it. But once you NT, hot damn, the unemployment line is gonna be looking saucy. The standing 69. Just leave that to the PR stars. It's a nightmare. You're standing there fumble ducking around, trying not fall over and injure one another the entire time, so there's really nothing fun about it. Whipped cream, honey, pretty much anything involving food, except for a thick pastrami sandwich that makes for a good recharge. Sometimes really hot girls are not the best partners. Anecdotally, physical appeal is no measure of hygiene or participatory nature. SX in a pool. Star P clubs and lap dance. It's basically just blue balling yourself. In my experience, random hookups in general have been disappointing. Never feels like it was worth all the effort to get there. The praying mantis. You'll never want to do that again. Well, at least one of you. Using a massage gun as a vibrator. Don't try it out, ladies. You'll get bruises lol. Okay, no judging. Active choice. Batman saves SI woman in distress. Set up, so's hands and feet are handcuffed to the bed, wearing very revealing lingerie. Our hero is in full costume, only $93 at costume store. Scene. I'm in the living room investigating a break-in. I hear, "Somebody please help me," coming from inside the home. I quickly find her and realize that the villainess may still be present. I mean Batman, jumps onto the dresser, whips out a bullwhip. I don't have BM gadgets. I snap it around the ceiling fan and swing to her aid on the bed. That's all I remember. I woke up on a gurney in the parking lot. Apparently, the ceiling fan gave way and I knocked myself out. I was okay, but my soul was found by the cops after many reports came in about a woman being K-led in our place. So, not gonna recommend this act unless you've got some strong support beams. Lol. Reverse cowgirl or boy. One of you gets to look at a beautiful bouncing A. One of you gets to look at your partner's manky feet. Actually, maybe that's a good thing for some people. A store mannequin. Anything standing up. There should be a reasonable level of work before it becomes a chore. Anything where the man has to physically hold the woman off the ground. Women, most adult humans really are heavy, and that includes thin, petite women. They still come in around 100 pounds. Even very strong men will have a problem holding up 100 pounds for any length of time. Not to mention also exerting themselves with actually having sex. They might pull it off for 30-60 seconds, And that'll be about it for the strongest men with petite partners. Doubtless there is some example showing it can be done, but most times this will hold true.